How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Snap Take. My name is Savage Jetty, and I'm covering for Glazer while he's away in the UK this week. Today, we're talking about two different decks. The first one is actually on your screen right now. It's a Phoenix Force deck with Shuri. It actually runs Crystal in there. We'll talk about that in a minute. And the second deck is a Move Disruption Kingpin deck. It's actually really creative. I've been having a lot of fun with it in the last couple days, and I highly recommend giving it a try. We'll talk about those in a second, but first, I want to ask you guys to subscribe both to my channel and here on Snap Judgment. Glazer does his best. I believe he makes daily videos at the moment where he brings you guys the top meta decks before they hit bigger creators' channels and before they're flooded in the community and you see them all over the place. He tries to bring you top meta decks before the meta catches up so that you can hit infinite with these decks again before other people get them. I'm a huge fan of all the decks that he posts. He's my go-to guy when I want to find some creative decks or something new to play. I message him on Discord. He sends me a list of stuff. I give them all a try. They're all fantastic. So please subscribe, and also go subscribe to my channel. I do bundle breakdowns for Marvel Snap for every major bundle. I do deck videos. I do some gameplay stuff on there. Just kind of cover all things Marvel Snap. I'm also streaming over on Twitch, so just check out my channel, Savage Eddie Gaming. I'm sure he'll put it in the description. Now, let's talk about the first deck. Glazer has named it Kitchen Sink, and it's because you're throwing everything, including the kitchen sink. The main goal of this deck, if you haven't played Phoenix Force decks before, when you play Phoenix Force, it copies one of your destroyed cards that game, it gains that ability, and then you have the ability to move Phoenix Force. So the goal for this deck is to drop Human Torch or multiple men, destroy it with Carnage or Venom or Deathlock, and then play Shuri on 4, Phoenix Force on 5. Now you have a Phoenix Force that's either Human Torch, that when it moves will double its power. So it would be a 7 power, and it'll double to 14 on turn 6. You can then copy that with Taskmaster. If Phoenix Force copies multiple men, it'll be 8 power. When you move it, it'll copy another 8 power multiple men, or I guess Phoenix Force, right where it was. And so those are your two main goals for the deck, is to get Human Torch or multiple men destroyed, play Shuri into Phoenix Force. However, if you do not have Phoenix Force, you have the option to play Shuri into Nimrod. And then because you have those destroy cards like Carnage and Venom and Deathlock, you can now destroy Nimrod. That will be a 12 power, hopefully twice on turn 6, and get a good amount out of him. And then on top of that, if you don't have your destroy cards in hand and you're not confident in playing Nimrod because you have no way of destroying him, you have the option to Shuri into Red Skull for 28 power, and then again Taskmaster the Red Skull on another lane. Because you're playing with a lot of big cards, you have to protect them, so armor is in this deck. Obviously, don't play your Nimrod into your armor lane. That would not work out very well, but armor is there just to protect big cards and keep them a little bit safer from Shang-Chi. Crystal is included in this deck. She kind of acts as pseudo America Chavez in the thinning your deck aspect, while giving you that option to be able to draw what you need on turn 6. There's nothing worse than needing a draw on turn 6 and then drawing America Chavez. So Crystal kind of allows you to thin your deck in that way. Obviously it gives your opponent a draw, which isn't great, but it does give you that opportunity to draw what you need on turn 6. Now, let's talk about the second deck for the day, the one I'm most excited about, this Nerf Herder Can't Sit Here list. Essentially, this deck's main goal is to just disrupt your opponent and disrupt what your opponent is doing by moving things around, by locking down some locations, by destroying things with Kingpin on turn 6. The deck is a lot of fun. The main play line is going to be play Nebula on 1, play either Daredevil or Jeff on turn 2, play Storm on 3, play Kingpin onto the Storm lane. Hopefully the Storm is on your Nebula lane. You can play Kingpin safely and know that you have a good chance of winning that lane. Turn 5, you can play Arrow to control where your opponent is going to go. If you played Daredevil, you have the opportunity to possibly counter an ongoing card your opponent is going to play with Echo. You can get some movement by playing a Polaris on 5 so that you can make your Miles Morales pretty cheap. You're going to have to adapt to what's going on turn 5 and wait for that turn 6 play where you can take advantage of your Kingpin. And then on turn 6, hopefully you have won the Storm lane, the Kingpin is over there, and you're trying to fight for that last lane. You have Stegoron and Juggernaut to play to try to boot your opponent's cards that they're playing into that lane out. win that lane, and if they jump over to that storm lane, they're going to get destroyed, so you have nothing to worry about. Normally, when you're not running Kingpin and you storm a lane, it is not a good idea to Juggernaut one of the other lanes, because it's possible that one of their cards is going to end up in your storm lane and you're going to lose that lane. With Kingpin, you obviously don't have to worry about that. Now, if you don't get Kingpin off on turn 4, you can always storm on 3, Juggernaut the storm lane, the classic storm Juggernaut combo, and then attempt to win one of the other lanes with just stats, with Magneto, with Arrow, or if all else fails and you're going for that Hail Mary, you can Juggernaut on the last turn and just hope it doesn't land in your storm lane, I guess. But this deck has been really fun for me. I've had a great time. It's led to some really fun plays and really fun turn 6s. So I encourage you guys to give it a shot. Thanks for watching. Please go check out my channel. I post fun decks over there. I do breakdowns for all the bundles coming out in Marvel Snap. Make sure you subscribe here to Snap Judgments. This man is pumping out content like no one I've ever seen before. I don't understand how he's doing it, but it's crazy. All the decks are fantastic, and he's doing a great job over here. And as usual, if you love all things Marvel Snap, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one.